Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be discussing first, where is WinWing? They've gone completely radio silent. They're not responding. They're barely talking to anyone. We're going to address that. And then we're also going to be talking about where does WinWing stand against its competition when it comes to the PFPs and the CDUs. So let's just call them the CDUs. Whether it be Boeing or Airbus, the CDUs, where do they stand in their competition? Where do they stand against the PU CDU version 2? Where do they stand against the WingFlex versions of the CDUs? And pretty much anyone else that I can really think of. And we're going to be showing you guys a couple of comparisons, why I think the level they are and where they stand. We're going to be talking about a couple of different reasons why. So stick around. If you are interested in any of my tutorial guides for Microsoft Flight Simulator, or simply interested in supporting the channel, consider joining me on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides, as well as any future guides that come down the road. Patreon link can be found in the description below. All right, guys, so first thing I'm going to knock out of the park right now is, where is WinWing? The answer to that question, you folks, is they are on the Chinese New Year. The Chinese New Year is happening right now, and I believe it goes through until February the 14th, right on Valentine's Day, if I remember correctly. Somewhere right around that same region. So, do not fret. I have seen the reason why I'm addressing this is I've seen a lot of comments on my videos, on other people's videos, on Discord, of people saying that support is either not responding at all, or they're very, very slow to respond. And that is because if you're getting a response, they're probably operating under a skeleton crew right now. Like I said, they're on their New Year holiday. I believe it's a two-week celebration. Don't quote me, 2.5 weeks, something like that, two or 3 week celebration. Okay, so it's a big deal, right? Obviously for them, just like our holidays. So just be patient. They're not going anywhere. Your problems will be addressed. It's their time to celebrate, and we're gonna respect that. So just to set you guys at ease, for anyone who might have been getting frustrated, not understanding why they weren't getting any kind of communication, hopefully this reaches out to you. But that's why they're in the Chinese New Year. Okay, so they're celebrating. Now, let's talk about the fun stuff. So, first off, we have here the WingFlex. That's going to drown that out. The WingFlex CDU, or MCDU. We have the WingFlex, and by the way, these are the real expensive ones, guys. These things run about, I think they're about $600 a piece. They might be on sale right now. We have the WingFlex Boeing CDU. We have the PU CDU version 2. This is the one where you can change the faceplate very easily, very rapidly. You can very easily swap between Boeing to Airbus to 737 to 777 to 747, whatever you may do. They have a faceplate for each, and it's magnetic. You literally just pop the panel off, put the new one on, you're off and ready for the next aircraft. And then, of course, we have the features of the show today, the WinWing CDU, or MCDU, and we have the WinWing PFP CDU for the Boeing aircraft on a very nice desk mount. So I've done a couple live streams with these, a couple different videos with these, and we're going to talk about where they stand. I have been thinking about this video for the last week and really trying to decide how I wanted to break this down. And I think I'm just going to go for it. So I'm going to do my best not to ramble and just get on with it. So first, let's talk about who is which one for. I think that's the first thing I wanted to break down. Who is each one for? Because they each have a different price point, and they each have a different benefit package with them. Okay. So first, your average simmer who is primarily sticking with one aircraft or doesn't mind buying multiple different devices, keep in mind that right now, when it comes to these devices from WinWing, I don't know, even their site is running slow, even they're down. You can buy eventually they will have the entire lineup. So you're going to have the Airbus MCDUs, and here they are right here. Okay. Airbus MCDUs and all of the Boeing aircraft. Okay, your 737, your 777, and I think the 747 are the three different variants they have here. So if we come down here, yeah. So PFP4, okay. If I remember correctly, I hope I get this right. The PFP3N is your 737s. The 4, I think, is the 747, and the 7 obviously is the triple. Okay, and then obviously the Airbus. I'll give Airbus that. They make it easy. Why Boeing felt the need to change their freaking MCD or CDUs around, I don't know. So, if you're someone who doesn't mind spending the money, then CD or these are great. But for me, these are more the WinWing for your average simmer. Most of the people probably watching this video, WinWing takes the cake. The price point is beautiful. The functionality is easy. You launch the software and bam, it's just ready to go. There is zero configuration, maybe a firmware update, right? A software update. The desk mount, I think, is the best one so far of the group. And the only one that I'm actually aware of that has anything like this. Now, here's one of the cool parts that I'm going to give you guys a little sneak peek about. Do with this information what you will. Even if you have one of the other ones, everybody is building to scale. So you can bet your money that somebody might have tested putting other brands on the desk mount. Take that as you will. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Hey, buddy. But for your average simmer, okay, most of you guys watching it, these are going to be the way to go. Okay, WinWing takes the cake. Especially if you are someone who is diehard Boeing or diehard, one of the comments that I see a lot, and the where this is coming from is I pretty much just fly commercial, and then it'll usually elaborate to I only fly Airbus. Like, for example, that's probably the biggest one. If you are diehard Airbus, I'm going to tell you that right now. If you are diehard Airbus and you don't ever fly anything else, and you don't want to drop a crap ton of money on the best of the best of the best, which I don't even know that I can confirm at this point anymore, WinWing, 100% WinWing. Okay, if you are 100% Airbus, you have one MCD you have to buy. You have one desk mount. I would recommend the desk mount. It's really nice, even if you have a cockpit like I do. It's real easy to just clamp it on just about anywhere, and it works really great. Hands down. So you guys catch my gifs with WinWing. If you don't mind spending the money on multiple products, okay, for the Boeing series, or if you're primarily, for example, if you only fly the 737, WinWing. Okay, it's when you start going into the other aircraft that I might recommend something different. You start going into other aircraft, but you are limited on space, or you don't want to constantly be swapping out physical hardware like this. Okay, keep in mind this isn't sitting on a stand like this one is, so you'd have to unscrew it, or whatever it's mounted to. Even if you're using the stand, it's got screw holes. Okay, if you don't want to be dealing with that, and you just want something that it's going to be a bit more expensive, okay, but you want to be able to swap multiple aircraft. You like flying Airbus, you like flying the 777, you like flying the 737. This guy. The PU CDU version 2 is the best for that type of individual. Okay, it is more expensive. You are going to spend more money in the long run. I'm telling you that right now. You're going to spend more money. Because with these, I think this is right around 300, maybe 400 US dollars. And then you get one free faceplate with it. And then I think it's $100 for every faceplate after that. So you're going to spend the money. You're going to spend damn near what you're paying for all 4 of those. But you get one device with a magnetic screen. You literally pop it off, put the new one on, select your aircraft, as long as the software is running and you're up to the races, right? So a very great advantage to the PU CDU version 2. Okay. But again, more expensive. Now, the WingFlex. The WingFlex versions are really hard to justify because they are significantly more expensive. I think the last time I saw them, they were on sale at $500. Okay. And I'm hoping that WinWing will spur further competition with them, because for a while I don't think they really had much competition. And I cannot stress to the quality, and I don't know how else to voice it other than one of those situations you'd have to try it to feel it to understand the difference. There is a very noticeable difference between these two pieces of hardware. There's a very noticeable difference. However, had I never tried had I never tried the WingFlex, which I actually tried the WingFlex MCDU before the WinWing. Had I not tried the WingFlex, I would think this is the best thing that somebody ever built. Okay, I would think, wow, this must be a darn near replica right out of the aircraft. But let's talk about some of the differences. I can tell you 400%. The plastic feels different with WinWing. It feels lesser quality. Okay. The molding feels different. This does not feel like something that came out of the real plane. Okay. That's the best way I can describe it to you. The WingFlex products feel like something that came out of the real plane. You're wondering if Airbus made the damn thing. You're wondering if Boeing made the damn thing. Okay. That's the only way that I know how to voice it in a way that will make sense. Okay, because I can talk about the way the buttons feel, but if I tell you the buttons feel amazing, they have a great tactile feel, they feel really soft and comfortable, I think the same thing about WinWing. They feel good. They don't feel cheap. They don't feel crappy at all. It's very well built. It works. Yeah. So when it comes to software, ease of use and configuration, I would say the only one who loses in that department is the PU CDU version 2. And for one very small reason, with the PU CDU, you have to pop out the screen. Okay, meaning that you have to, hold right, for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 at least, you have to hold right alt, mouse over the window, click it out, and then you drop it into the display on this. But I will say there was zero, I didn't have to worry about sizing it or dragging it or stretching it. It just bam, and it was good to go. That was it. I had to do nothing else. But that is a drawback. Okay. So that's where it sort of falls behind the curve, but then again, comes back up a little bit when you can have that easy swap of aircraft. If I want to swap from Boeing to Airbus, all I do is pull a faceplate on, put a new one on, and I'm in my Airbus. So that is the best way that I can break these down. That was the best methodology that I could think of to how to explain this to people who can't physically interact with the devices that are in front of me. When it comes to the ease of use and configuration, I think WinWing and WingFlex are tied. Both of them, you launch one piece of software, you start your simulator, and you fly. That's it. No dragging and dropping of screens, no video ports, the PCU video version 2 doesn't have any video parts either, but it just has you do need to drag and drop it as a virtual monitor. What else was I going to say? So when it comes to the configuration, ease of use, WinWing and WingFlex are tied. When it comes to the build quality of the devices, the way they feel and the way they interact, WinWing is only slightly behind WingFlex. Like I said, the best way I can describe WingFlex, I can't stress enough, I don't know how to say it, is the WingFlex feel like they came out of the real aircraft. And that's who I would say that those are for. Either A, someone who just wants that pristine perfection quality, then you would go WingFlex. Or if you are someone who is building a replica of a simulator, I think I showed you guys in a previous video the difference between the WingFlex FCP and the WinWing FCP. There's also a major difference there. The WinWing FCP is significantly vertically smaller than the WingFlex. And again, with the WingFlex, it feels like the unit came out of a real Airbus. It feels like they literally said, hey, we're taking this. We're going to sell it. Where WinWing, it is good. It feels great. It feels awesome. It's fun to use. But you can tell it was built by a simulator controller developer. I don't know how else to describe it. I do not want to make WinWing products sound cheap at all. They are not. They are very, very good quality. I really hope this is relaying well over a video, because it's so hard to describe these kind of nuances and these kind of differences between products over voice, because you guys can't, I can't hand it to you. You can't feel it. You can't touch it. You can't say, oh, I see what you're talking about. This one, yeah, it feels different, right? Even though they look identical. Okay. So anyway, I hope that sort of settles things down for you. For your average simmer who isn't changing aircraft very frequently or doesn't mind the $140 price point and buying multiple and swapping out hardware when they want to change aircraft, literally swapping them out, or maybe you have multiple CDUs, one Boeing over here, one Airbus over here, however you want to do it, then WinWing by definitely. If you're looking for the best of the best, maybe you're building an exact simulator replica and you're building a replica of an A320 in your garage or a shed outside or your room, whatever, WingFlex, they're amazing. If you're gonna go that route where you have the full panel where you step behind a curtain and all of a sudden you're like, why am I in an airplane? WingFlex. If you're someone who is limited on space, does not want to be constantly swapping out hardware, and is someone who changes aircraft frequently, even especially between the different Boeings. Boeings is going to be the big one when it comes to the PU CDU. Okay, with the PU CDU version 2, it's the biggest selling point I can give you for them is, are you flying multiple Boeings? Okay, because, or are you consistently, very consistently swapping between Airbus and a Boeing? Okay, then and again, you don't want to be constantly fiddling, unplugging one, setting another one up to go fly a different airplane. Then I would say the PU CDU. But I did my best to keep this as unbiased as possible, to try to really think about where do I find the benefits to each device. I really hope this helped you guys. This was a really tough one to do. But I've been asked a couple times, having what I have now, somebody literally asked me direct last week in a direct message. They asked, which one would you buy? Setting money aside. And if I guess I'll try to answer that last question. If money was not an object, if I were to take money completely out of the picture, which is really an impossible statement, but completely hypothetical, obviously, I would say the WingFlex. And for me, it would be the WingFlex with the Boeing. Okay. But money is very much so an object for me, just like many of you. And so with that in mind, you guys caught my gist. WinWing for the average, WingFlex, the best of the best. Or someone who's doing a cockpit replica and wants it to look very authentic. That's the kicker. The authenticity of the build and the look. And then PU for someone who wants a single device, multiple options, but is willing to spend the money for that multiple options at $100 per panel extra, right? So anyways, guys, I hope you found this useful. I said I wasn't going to ramble, and I'm rambling. I caught myself. So, as always, guys, leave your questions, comments down below. I'll do my best to give you guys my honest thoughts on that, and stay safe and healthy. I'll see you in the next one.